Want to say hello to the workshop we're hosting today. People here from all across the state and around the country, and we're looking for a nice, informative, productive day. We are going to try to accomplish a few things that will be fun, I hope, and helpful. And we're not going to solve an answer. We're not going to solve every problem, answer every question that people may have, but we hope that those of you who are interested in learning about conducting research in a Census Research Data Center will come away better off for hanging around here today. I'm Mark Fawcett. I'm the director of the TXCRDC, just the Texas CRDC. You got to know your acronyms these days. CRDC, Census Research Data Center. Repeat after me. Okay. We'll talk about what a Census Research Data Center is, but we'll spend more time talking about how to use them today. We've had some promotional events in the past which were trying to get the center on the radar to let people know this resource was coming, and those efforts are now behind us, and we're moving forward to efforts to help people who are interested learn a little bit more about the practical aspects of doing work in an RDC. And we've got a distinguished panel with us today from around the country. I'll introduce them in a second, and we'll have some ritual humiliation. Just a few things I'd like to do first. I'd like to recognize all of the entities that are here. We've got well, I don't know about all, but most of the colleges here at Texas A&M, so agriculture, architecture, Bush School, business, engineering, geosciences, liberal arts, and science, have registered and are in attendance. Also, School of Rural Public Health, Texas Transportation Institute. We've got University of Texas, Baylor University, folks from University of Texas Medical Branch Galveston, Rice, and then our panelists from around the country. We've got a really great group together. So I hope you're able to take advantage of the brief times when we have during lunch and the breaks to interact and get to know each other for possible collaboration. I want to take a second to recognize a couple of people who helped put all this together, because it's certainly been a lot of fun but a lot of work. And first and foremost, Julie White, our office associate, who has made all the arrangements and chased people down. She's just been terrific. And then 3 graduate assistants I want to point out, Nathaniel Proctor, Jeremy West, and Amber Fox. Amber is hiding. What? Outside, okay. Anyway, they've all been working. She's working, yeah. Well, life is cruel. Okay. Well, anyway, if anything good happens here, it's because of them. Anything gets screwed up, it's because of me. If you're not aware, we are on a live video feed, so say nice things about the governor and anyone else who might provide funding to the university. So while you're here, please take advantage of the opportunity to poke around and look into the rooms that are associated with the center. We are in the process of becoming, so these rooms are not yet fully operational. For example, the room that's going to host the lab where the computers are going to be, the renovations haven't even started yet, and it won't be until summer before we try to schedule having the computer network installed. But you can get a sense for what the layout is, and especially if you're from out of town, you can get a sense for what it would be like to come over for the day or a couple of days and work. So take advantage of that. But the one thing I would ask is, let me give you an orientation. We are over in this part of the building, and if you're wandering over to the other part, that's not where we are, so let's maybe just kind of stay over here. And toward the end of the hall is a group that we share the building with. They are busy working, and so we'll try not to bother them too much. But anyway, they're our friends. Okay, now it's time for ritual humiliation. So what I want to do is I want to get all of the panelists together because we'd like a photo to celebrate the group and this occasion and to use for publicity. So starting, Sean Clemick from the Census Bureau at the Center for Economic Studies. He's the director of research there. And For each of you, I've got an Aggie hat, so I know that when you're from Berkeley, Johns Hopkins, and Chicago and other places, what you need is an Aggie hat. And, okay, Gail Boyd from Duke University. He's the director of the RDC.
And I'll even put it on since you're not in the ACC.
Okay.
So I have to.
Okay, well, look, come right on. Jonathan Fisher he's the RDC administrator at the Baruch University RDC. Matthias Carrig from the University of Texas, a researcher who's been active in the RDC, so I know that he will treasure this. So get you in good with it. By the way,
I know he's not on his.
And then Bosch Mazunder from the Chicago Federal Reserve RDC. And I did, use state dollars wisely here. If I had the SEC logo, it would have cost an extra $10. So these are last year's model. And then Zelima Valdez, a panelist from the afternoon, here in the sociology department, a researcher who's used RDCs, and we'll talk about her experiences. And Charlie Tolbert from Baylor University has come over. Charlie is the department head at Baylor and had a long-time RDC user, and actually is responsible for folks here thinking about an RDC. Many years over, he tried to come over and con us into joining him in an effort, and it worked. And Justin Denny from Rice University, a health researcher who will be on the panel this afternoon. And I want to thank all of you guys for committing your time and coming here to share your experience, your wisdom, your thoughts with us. So a quick appreciation here. And then we'll get a couple of shots here. And Salima doesn't have to put the hat on.
I will never get tenure.
We're good? Okay, thank you so much, guys. And okay, one of the things I'm going to try to do is to keep us on schedule. That means I'm going to have to cut myself off here. I will say a couple of things about what the center is, how currently we are able to help in various ways, and then describe a little bit about how the sessions are going to work to give you a sense. They'll probably turn into a free-for-all, but we'll try to have some structure. Okay, first of all, we have the website for the center up, and it's one of our ways to try to make information available. So please use the site, and if something is not available there or something is not helpful, let us know, and we will try to fix it. We have steadily added to it and improved it. So today we have a document that some of you have received by email. It's posted here. It's gives the schedule for the session. There's the handout that you picked up out front. If you don't have one, there are plenty available. This document online has got links that are live. So Gail Boyd, for example, just because he's first on the list here, if you'd like to see some work that he's done, the live document on the website will allow you to take a poke at some of the articles and working papers and things that have come out of the research from all of our panelists. We're going to have all of the panelists share with us their experiences in working in RDCs, but this is not a research presentation in the traditional sense of describing the work in great detail. We've got the papers here for you to look at if you're curious about the work, and I'm sure they'd love feedback and all of that. But what I've asked our panelists to address are their experiences in an RDC. How did they come to work in an RDC? How has it benefited their career? What are the pros and cons for thinking about the kind of investment it takes to tool up and begin using the data resources in an RDC? And a variety of other issues. And we'll have a lot of time for question and answer. So panelists will keep their remarks fairly brief so that we can have a lot of time for question and answer. And then I'll try to moderate to keep us on time so that everybody gets a good chance. Let's see. In terms of what the center can do for you, in the end, to use the center, you have to write a proposal. And a proposal effort always involves, first of all, a good idea and then a good amount of hard work to make things happen. There are particular characteristics of a proposal to conduct research in a Census Research Data Center that most people will not have encountered before. We'll talk about that today in some occasions. You have to write a benefit statement if you're using data from the Census Bureau. You have to explain to the census why you should be able to use the confidential data, and under their guidelines that can be justified if they derive some benefit from it. And it's going to be a benefit beyond simply the good science or the good policy research or whatever it is you're doing. It's beyond the contribution to knowledge in the discipline. It's going to be something that benefits the activities of the Census Bureau. Most people haven't done that before. So we can help you find the statements that describe how that should work. We can give you some guidance on that. Dr. Zulema Valdez, who I introduced earlier, is this spring serving as a proposal coordinator and has some experience in this. You know, our job, we won't be able to write proposals with you or even edit them carefully for feedback and stuff, but we can tell you if you're going in the right direction, and we can get advice from others. And when the time comes that you're in the direction that you may be ready to go, through our formal and informal connections with other RDC administrators in the nationwide network, we'll ask for a little bit of feedback, and then with that, you may be able to submit and get approved. We'll talk about timelines and other things that are involved. So think of us as a liaison, both formally and informally. And eventually, when we're fully operational, there will be a full-time Census Bureau employee here. Their title will be RDC Administrator, and they'll take over the duties that Zulema is doing on an informal basis, and they'll have more authority. But for now, while we're in the birthing process, we have this arrangement in place. Okay, so I'm going to stop now, and the first session up has a focus on business and economics and all of the related disciplines. All of our researchers here have done economic or business-related research in an RDC. They'll talk a little bit about their experiences. I've asked Gail Boyd to take a couple of minutes to reflect on the broader role that RDCs have begun to play in some fields in business and economic research. Just nothing elaborate, but a little bit about, how does it fit into the big picture? What are the trends? If you study the kinds of work that's been done in an RDC, you'll see that more than half of it to date has been research relating to economics and business. There's some change now with a lot of activity more recently with health research and other things. So Gail, if you would like to say a few things. And let's see, I've got a portable mic here. You might want to go.